what our word for cool is anymore. It used to be cool, and then for a while it was chill. Chill out. Be chill. So like we turned the thermostat down to anticipate global warming. And then suddenly it was just hot. Everything became hot. We went from cool to hot. We skipped warm altogether because warm wasn't cool enough. We were still uncomfortable. We still had to borrow someone's coat for that one.
Oh.
Worst part of global warming, you don't know where the temperature's gonna be anymore. Within this past week, we had winter, then we had the rainy season, then dry season, and now I guess this is spring. Maybe we'll have summer in December. Who knows? You're even at a bar, the girl gives you the cold shoulder. That's cold. But you got her number. Hot! So your night turns into warm, she's cold, she's hot. She should see a doctor. This isn't working for anyone. Is cool still good? That's what I want to know. Is cool still cool? Am I getting warmer? Am I getting closer? Am I burning up? No wonder my gas bill is so high. I'm probably just having hot flashes. I don't know what's good anymore. Remember when Michael Jackson made Bad Cool? That's a good song. It was hot. At the time. I just lost one of my most beloved heroes late last year. I'd like to share that with you. He wasn't from our country, he was from New Zealand. He spent 6 years hiding in a cave, fighting the political repression of New Zealand. His name was Shrek, and he was a sheep. Take out your phones right now and Google Shrek sheep. The thing about New Zealand sheep, they're bred to grow wool. They don't stop growing wool at a certain pace. It keeps going. After 6 years of running away from people trying to shear him, which I don't know how you do that, he had 60 pounds of wool on him. Imagine wearing Carrot Top. Or growing that everywhere on your body. So somebody is hugging you wearing a Snuggie full of housing insulation. For 6 years. 60 pounds? You can't run with 60 pounds. How do you escape for 6 years? How does a sheep escape for 6 years? He's getting away. Oh well. But the fact that Shrek hid in a cave and became a national treasure. 6 years. One sheep hid in a black cave. I don't know if you know any of this about wool, but wool absorbs water. Do you know, it's a 4-foot diameter of wool. Wet cave. Do you guys know how a sponge works or a tampon works? Imagine a 4-foot wide sponge absorbing that much water. He would get stuck. I don't know how he survived that long. Nobody could find him hiding in a cave. What color is a cave? Black. What color is a sheep? You don't have to take your apps out for that. Spoiler alert. It's white. It's like seeing me in the middle of this. Dogs can see the color difference. How do you not see that? He would stick out like 90s Michael Jackson in the 60s Jackson 5 reunion tour.
Makes sense.
Was that bad or was that good? I don't know if it's still cool. Am I getting warmer? Shrek's story, when his death came about, it made the front page in the National New Zealand Record. Read by approximately 6 people. But it made internet news, so it was read by approximately 60 people and about 100,000 bots sent out by Google. They finally shave him. They get him down, they shave him. There's 60 pounds of filthy wool and this tiny lamb on top of it. You just wonder if it's going to be like Rocky Balboa or Piccolo when he removes the weighted clothing. The legend lives on. It tells you 2 things about New Zealand. One is that they're really bad at capturing sheep, clearly. 2, New Zealand is boring. Like a dead sheep makes national news. What happened when you removed all the orcs and hobbits? There was nothing interesting going around in New Zealand, apparently. Thanks, Peter Jackson. You took away anything interesting about our country. There he was, fighting the power. Not as effective as Kamina, mind you, growing like on, but he's just passive-aggressive against the government. Growing hair. That's like digesting food as a way to protest anything. I'll show you, government. 9 years this is going to smell horrible. You're going to see it. Sitting in a cave. 6 years. I can't even see. I can't even move. I could get shaved. Nah. I'm cool where I am. I got my pad. Hiding in a cave. I'm like Batman. Isn't that every kid's dream? Just to grow up and just to be Batman? I'm 28 years old. I'm still dreaming about being Batman. Adam West hasn't done it in 40 years. He still loves the fact that he was Batman. Thank you. I am dating. I'm dating a girl. My girlfriend's name is Kat. She came with 2 cats. I am now a proud cat dad. She has Hello Kitty on her credit card. She's like a themed supervillain. She's my Catwoman. And if I'm dating Catwoman, that makes me by default Nightwing. Yeah, Dick Grayson all the way. But I'm starting to get into this weird abusive relationship with the cat because I wake up earlier than my girlfriend, but we have a rule. We don't feed him before 9 in the morning. But I gotta get up at 4:30 tomorrow to go to work. You know what 4:30 a.m. is like? It's like being kicked in the face, but from within. That is every gene, all evolution in your body telling you, why are you awake? It is still dark. Predators are roaming the streets. Lie back down, wait for sunrise to search for food and scatter for a mate. I will sit and check my work email to see if there's any fires I have to put out. Cat comes up next to me. And he will do this. He puts his paw up on my shoulder.
Hey. How's it going, sweetheart? You're here. I'm here. You're only sitting here in your underwear. I know what that means. You're dressing like that. Kitchen's 5 feet away. Why don't you go in there and make me some breakfast?
How are you talking?
That's what I want to
If I
know.
ignore him for more than 2 minutes, he will put his claws on me. Because we had to be nice and not declaw him. He's also our bonus interior decorator.
I like this place. You know what it needs? Vomiting cat hair. That couch, cat hair. That fresh laundry needs more cat hair. We're going for a theme. Theme, cat hair.
Puts his claws up on me.
Maybe you didn't hear me. I said get in the kitchen.
Why are you repressing me? You have to be careful with cats. They have this mind control syndrome. Okay, I got to spend Christmas at my girlfriend's household. Straight up Chinese household. What is Christmas like in a Chinese household? It's watching movies and eating Chinese food. Which is basically Christmas at a Jewish household, too. It's also Christmas at my family's place. God bless the Chinese restaurants. There is no holiday sacred enough for them to close. Chinese New Year? No, you need more. You need more egg rolls to celebrate that. I also got to do something for the first time that I was very stoked about. In New York, you make a lot of different friends. I've made a lot of Muslim friends. I've made a lot of Christian friends. I've made a lot of Jewish friends. I got invited out to Long Island for my first ever Passover, which I wasn't expecting. Now, for a geek, the first time you're sitting down to Passover, one person has decided to host the event. You have been promised that there will be snacks and beer later on. Everybody's sitting around. They're all given a different role. There are certain rituals that you have to do 3 times. It's like the first time you sit down to a friend's house trying to learn Dungeons and Dragons. Because everybody has a different rule book. This one's from the 70s. No, this one's from my grandmother's from the 40s. This is the new one with puppets. Who wants to read for the second brother? You gotta read for the third brother. Who gets to play the elf and the dwarf? You're just sitting there, when do we eat? I was promised matzah! What is that? It's like cardboard, but baked. Still, it's pretty crunchy. Matzo ball soup. That is penicillin right there. That could fight off the Black Plague. I promise you. Well, chicken matzo ball soup. You don't have to worry about anything, buddy. You could drink from a mystery puddle in Greenwich Village, and you'd be fine living with that.
Oh.
Everything you know about America it can be summed up by breakfast cereals, really. By the evolution of mascots with breakfast cereals. I remember Lucky Charms. They had a hard time selling a leprechaun running around to children. St. Patrick would have worked even worse. Kicking through the wall like he's the Kool-Aid guy. Who wants cereal? Hi, St. Patrick. Any snakes? What? No. We live in a house. Okay. So they threw a leprechaun at a bunch of kids, and to make Lucky Charms more appealing, what is it? It's heart stars and horseshoes, clovers and balloon, pots of gold or rainbow, and in the 90s, they said the red balloon. We needed more marshmallows. It's marshmallows and some non-marshmallow pieces, so moms say, oh, it's not just a bag of sugar. No, it's a bag of sugar-covered wheat parts and some sugar marshmallows. That didn't work. What did they do? For a while, they made the marshmallows bigger. And one of the best parts about growing up was you ate all the whole grain pieces, so you just had a bowl of marshmallows at the end. That was called payday. That's a paycheck for a 6-year-old. That is the best feeling in the world. And then you just have sugary milk at the end of it. It's like a melted bowl of ice cream right there. That's Thanksgiving in everybody's household. They made the marshmallows bigger. No. So what can we do now? How can we infuse more sugar into Lucky Charms? We have these wheat pieces. we're gonna cover them in more sugar. They should just give us a bag of Domino sugar and just cut out the middleman. It'd be more efficient. And then there was back in the days of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. If you remember, they used to have 3 chefs on the box. They had Wendell and like the other 2 Ghostbusters. They had 3 chefs, and then there was just Wendell. They never addressed the fact that there were just 2 guys knocked off. Why? Italian Mafia. Then they simply got rid of... No love? What are you guys, all for the Russian mob? No love for that? They don't make cabbage and sauerkraut as a breakfast cereal. That would be horrible without marshmallows. So it's just Wendell. Then they just cut out Wendell. We don't need cartoons anymore to appeal to kids. Cookie Crisp is the greatest American story. Cookie Crisp. First off, what is it? It's not even cereal. It's cookies. They couldn't sell cookies to kids. You're kidding me. You sell anything to a kid. You could drop it in the mystery puddle in Greenwich Village, they'd still eat the cookie. You cover it in anything, they'll still eat the cookie. Box of cookies, they couldn't sell it. So what did they do? They needed mascots. So they had a robber, and they had this really stereotypical, really politically incorrect Irish cop. Because Charles Manson Flakes had sold so well in the 60s. I don't know. That didn't work. So what did they do? They gave the criminal a dog. They gave him a robber dog. Great. A puppy that breaks into people's homes and steals my Cookie Crisp. And you wonder why I still want to grow up to be Batman. So they cut out the robber, they cut out the cop, and they kept the dog. But the dog wasn't cool enough. So to make him cool, hot, to make him more good, better, they turn him into like a hipster wolf. Now they've simply put the dog to sleep, and I'm grateful for it. I can get back to eating cookies at breakfast. What they don't tell you is in your 20s, you can just eat cookies for breakfast. Nobody tells you that you can't. That's why you have to survive high school to make it to your 20s. Because until you hit your 30s, nothing matters. Always love performing in New York. Always love meeting everybody from New York. New York is the city that never sleeps. It will pass out somewhere between 6 a.m. and noon on Sunday. Briefly, comatose, and then get up and keep on going. But it never closes. Like I said, 4.5 days this week, because I gotta get up at 4 in the morning. 4 in the morning is painful. On the 3rd day of waking up at 4 in the morning, you start hearing voices. On the 4th day, you start listening to the voices. By the 5th day, you're asking them out for dinner because you have to go to bed at 8 p.m. and wake up at 4 in the morning. You don't have anybody who fits into your social queue anymore. No one knows you're still alive. You're just asking the voices out. What are you doing at 8 p.m.? I'm going to bed. Same as me. I work breakfast shifts, which means you work with the most satanic substance known to man. Maple syrup. But everything is good with maple syrup. Maple syrup makes everything better. You ever work with it? Maple syrup is the only thing that I know that you get it on your hands are now sticky. What happens if you get milk or ketchup on your hands? Oh, I'm fine. Syrup? No. You're still sticky. It's still sticky. Wipe it on the wall. It is now sticky. It spreads like monster blood. Carl Stein reference for both of you who grew up with Goosebumps with me. There you go. Everyone else, read a book.
Oh!
But water doesn't work on it. Bleach does not work on it. Hot scrubbing water and soap does not remove syrup. Only time, as it starts growing and collecting everything else around it. It's a perfect sample, like they use it for CSI. 6 months later, here's a local wildlife that's been eating from the sugar. Not only that, but syrup is the only substance I know that is sticky and at the same time slippery. So if there's a puddle of it on the floor and you're going at breakneck speed because somebody needs their toast with their omelet, you step on it, you slip, you can fall, you'll be stuck to the floor. J.K. Rowling couldn't imagine stuff like this.
Oh!
Stephen King wrecked his mind. What is evil? Maple syrup. You ever get that all over your hands? Your day's wasted. It's like getting a permit then going for a shower. You're boned. You meet all the wonderful eccentrics growing up in New York, don't you? And the longer you live in New York, the more I'm convinced that your view of how much space is your living room begins to fade away. We had this guy who would come in for breakfast, and we would serve him because it was no shirts, no shoes, no service. This guy would come in slippers and a bathrobe. He lived 4 blocks away. So he's walking up Columbus Avenue, mind you, slippers and a bathrobe. After maybe like 3 months of living in my apartment, I don't have to put on a shirt if I'm going to my kitchen. Let the neighbors have something to gloat about. Let them call the cops. I like having a fan base.